In today's video, I'm going to talk about the most amazing tool that I use and that I also teach my clients to basically bring their manifestation and conscious creation journey to the next level, to really speed everything up and get rid of resistance, and also for people to use to reduce stress levels, the high intensity of certain memories and certain triggers in their lives, and anxiety, worry, doubt, and fear. It's one of the most powerful tools, and I'm going to talk all about it in today's video. But first things first, you can look like I'm so excited to make this video. I'm still like here sitting with wet hair and a little bit confused almost. So first things first, my name is Lydia. I'm a mindset and high performance coach, and here on the channel I talk about all things manifestation, conscious creation, high performance, even business growth, personal development. If you're new here, please subscribe for all the goodness here on the channel and leave a comment, ask your questions in the comments, share, like, just help this channel to grow. Highly appreciate it. And if you want some more support than just the videos, go to the description. There is a link to my one-to-one work, like what I do in one-to-one sessions, or you can book one-to-one sessions with me and you can join the most amazing mind mastery community where we talk about all the things in more depth, and you have a powerful, powerful community to really be on the path together. Everything is in the description. Okay, so let's get started about today's topic. I'm talking about EMDR, which is short for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It was invented in the late 80s by Francine Shapiro. She was a psychologist, and she basically found out that certain eye movements help to reduce the intensity of like certain emotional memories, some like distressing thoughts, worries, and so on. And then this whole direction or therapy direction was basically used or invented for people to, like, for trauma survivors, basically, for veterans, for people with a lot of trauma in their lives. But now it's used like for everyone who is in stress, who is like, yeah, even like has mini traumas in their lives, you know. It is one of the most powerful tools. And about me, I hold a license in Wingwave. Wingwave basically is a further development of EMDR. It includes also NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and a muscle test. So basically it's EMDR plus some other things on top, so to say. So I'm a licensed therapist in that. And then I created basically a way how to use it by yourself so that you don't have to go and see a therapist anymore. Of course, you can talk to people, but you can do it like in a self-paced way. And I found this to be so much more powerful even because you can apply it whenever in your life. You don't have to wait for the session, you know? You don't have to wait until you get a session with your therapist and then it's once a month. You can basically apply it every day, and it is so powerful. It has been life transforming for myself and also for my clients. And I'm going to give you some examples. So what basically happened with my clients is that they released long-standing fears and worries. So one client struggling a lot with money, and basically you can see like that. Usually if you have money struggles, money worries, you go into the intensity of the fear. There is this like, oh my God, will it, like you can feel it. It's a whole body sensation. And what happens first with EMDR when you process your emotions and your thoughts with that is that you basically become more neutral towards the topic. And then you can start using positive imprinting to bring up the new story that you want to live. And how does it work? It basically helps the brain to reprocess stored emotional experiences. It shifts them from the amygdala, the brain's emotional response center, into the neocortex. And there they can be basically integrated with logic, perspective, and a sense of safety. So it's basically really a rearrangement in your brain. It's not just we just think differently. No, there happens something in your brain circuit, so to say. And it's almost like you can see it that way. You might have a memory. You're thinking about a bear attacking you. That's super random, I know it never happens, but a bear attacking you. So if you haven't processed that memory, you would experience that in the moment as if the bear was attacking you again. So the memory comes up, it hasn't been shifted into the other part of your brain. So the memory comes up and you're going into panic, like, oh God, the bear. So you are experiencing it again, even though the bear is not there. You're experiencing the memory as if it was happening all over again. All over again. And what we do, or what happens when we use EMDR, is that it becomes a real memory. You can just think about it and there is no activation in your body anymore. It is just a memory, no activation. And this is the big shift, because most people live in fight and flight. Most people live in high activation. When they think about things, for example, what I mentioned with money, they experience in the moment like fears and trauma and triggers from way before. Not even something that is really triggering right now. A lot of my clients who have a lot of money struggles and money fear, they have enough money, but they are still stressed and traumatized in the moment. They, like, a bill comes in and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money. I'm going to be dead tomorrow, like, because I can't feed myself and my family. But it's irrational. But still they have the experience. And this is what we shift. And this is massive, because most people live in intense states of fear and stress without anything happening right now. You're safe right now, right here, but you're living in intense states of fear and stress and worry and doubt. Or, for example, a lot of my clients had experiences with bullying. So they still bring those states to everyday experiences. So they meet someone new, or they're talking to a client or a friend, and they again go into the state, the inner state of fear of God, oh my God, I'm going to be bullied. Not consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously even. So they react from that place of, oh my God, I'm going to be bullied, even though there is no reason for that. So do you understand? This is what we change. We shift all those old triggers into a different part of your brain so that they don't trigger you anymore. And you become a whole different level of calm, of inner peace, of neutrality, of ease. And from that base then, and by the way, it's like bullying, it's just stress and survival mode in childhood. Like, I grew up in a very chaotic environment. I grew up in a cult, so we were moved every half year. I had to go to different schools. I wouldn't know where I would live the next day. I had different caregivers. There was no stability. And this kept on informing my later life. I lived from that place, even though I was a grown-up person, We still relive scenarios from our past until we reprocess them. So if you grew up in a very chaotic childhood, and you haven't reprocessed that, it will still be active. You will still live from a survival blueprint. And then I mentioned, for example, that like you had very chaotic childhoods, or that you were bullied in school, or even that you were not really loved and appreciated by your parents. Like, perhaps another sibling was more loved by your parents, and you were the middle child, or the one who was always quiet and calm, or perhaps was just like your parents were a bit annoyed by you. So nothing big, but it left a huge imprint, and you keep living from that blueprint. You keep expecting other people behaving like your parents. Not consciously. Consciously, you're like, no, I'm a grown-up person. I manage a huge company. I make millions. But internally, you're still on that child level, and this is how you react to other people. And this is how you make your decisions based on that blueprint. And that blueprint we can change, and it will change everything for you. So many different scenarios. We have money scenarios, in love and relationships, how you relate to your partner, how you show up to your partner, what you expect from them. Do you expect to again be cheated on and be abandoned, be rejected? It all comes from unprocessed memories in you that we can change, and then you will show up differently in life. You understand that? So with the work that we do, we repress all those old triggers, and it doesn't take long. And it is not like, oh, you have to make a huge list of like, I have to go through that. It happens in layers. So with my clients, we usually start, of course, with the issue at hand. So if it's a money issue, if it's a relationship issue, we start there. And I have a certain way of how to guide them through that, and how, like, what I have them to do. And of course, I have a lot of experience, and I have found my own methodology, or my own way how to teach that and how to have them do that, so that they don't have to wait for one session per month to then process things. No, they can do it in everyday life, And now when we come to conscious creation and manifestation, so if you really understand you are the creator of your reality, So many people in the community, they know all of that stuff, but they still don't get to the place where they really manifest and consciously create with ease. Why? Because the old blueprint is still active. They have all the thoughts. They even affirm for the money, for the love, for ages. And many have success with that, but many also do not have success with that because they haven't reprocessed the old blueprint. So they have a lot of fear around rejection, abandonment, survival mode. And then they affirm for I'm so loved, I'm so loved, I'm so loved. Yes, it will imprint over time, but it takes a long time if your blueprint underneath is I'm never loved, I'm never chosen, no one ever sees me. And if you process this with EMDR in a matter of a few days, and then we go layer after layer, when you then start imprinting those affirmations, they work like magic. But before you could do it for a year and you were still only get like step for step like better at it, so to say, right? So just to give you the basic understanding how EMDR works, and of course I go way in depth if I work with you one-to-one, or if you join the Mind Mastery community, I give you a lot of ways of how to do it, what kind of prompts, like how to access memories and so on. But the basics you can do with me, and you can do it like throughout the day, just to relax, just to ease into your day, just to relax a little bit of stress. So you use your eyes as you use them in your sleep, in the REM phase, the rapid eye movement phase. So we use that. Basically, you have your eyes here, and what you can do with me, you just hold your face very still, and then you move your eyes on the middle line, so to say, the line where you look at, or the horizontal line, or whatever you call that. And you don't move your face, you just move your eyes from the left to the right. And then you go as far to the left as you can and as far as you can to the right. And you usually already get like a big inhale, exhale, or a yawn or something coming up. And you can do this for a few seconds. You can do it with me. Even emotions might show up, just without even having any topic, you know? We are just moving our eyes right now. And then what we do, we go to the higher level. I teach this in my course, why we do that. So you look up, very much up, and then you do it the same. Go to the left, right, and as much as you can. And you might already feel some friction, that it's not very easy, that it's almost exhausting. Your eyes are not used to that. Big inhale, exhale again, just comes naturally. I'm not doing this on purpose. Do this for a few more seconds, and then you look down. I'm not closing my eyes, I'm looking down. And then you again go from left and right, left to right, as far to the left and right as you can. If you get stuck and then you can even use like a sound to wake yourself up. And then you can go as fast as you can. You can really speed it up. And in the beginning, and then you can go to the horizontal line and to the upper line again. So we are just using the basic movement at the moment. And you can already feel how this releases stress and anxiety and worry in that moment. Because we are processing. We are basically, it's bilateral stimulation. So we are stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, and they basically get into coherence. And this is how they basically reprocess things that are going on. They reprocess everything, like the memories in your brain in that moment, in that very moment. And when you have, this is what's happening in sleep as well. But in sleep, you cannot process all of those things that are going on in life. So what people experience, for example, is, or it's a metaphor for that. What you have, you have a cupboard and you stuff a lot of stuff in there, and then more and more and more. And it's not organized anymore. And this is like your brain. And then in the evening, in the night, you try to organize it, but you don't even have enough time. So our brains are so full with stuff, especially if we have some traumatic imprints, that sleep isn't enough anymore to process things. And this is why we do it in a state of being awake. And the difference is also if you do it with eyes open, you can really use the full range, because people sometimes ask, can I just close my eyes and move them a bit? You can do that, but then it's more like nervous system regulation, and it's not about accessing deeper layers, If you do it with your eyes open and consciously and not zoning out, then you can really address things. And the more you use the full range, you will feel the friction. If you just have your eyes closed and move them a bit, there's not a lot of friction. It just feels like comforting, comfortable, calming. But when you do it like the way how I said, like most people in the beginning feel like, oh, this is like almost like work, yes, because you're working out your eyes. You're not moving them usually like that. And it's proper trauma release in those moments. So yes, of course, depending on what is coming up, it will be more difficult for your eyes because you're processing deeper thoughts and deeper triggers. So you will see, depending on which topic you're working on, it will be more difficult to use to move your eyes than with other topics. It's really interesting. So depending on the severity of the issue, you will feel how your eyes will get stuck, even in certain places, and then you can like do a little bit of this with your eyes, to get them moving again. Because you're working through your brain's storage, so to say. It's not just moving your eyes, it's actual work. So very important as well to drink a lot of water. It uses a lot of energy, and not to do too much. Like at the moment, what I'm teaching here is just the basic movement. So when you join the Mind Mastery community, I have a whole course on how to use this for triggering moments from your past, how to find the triggering moments, how to release them. There are also teachings about when to use slow movements, fast movements, why we have different levels, what they stand for. I talk about if issues show up, like if you feel like, oh, I can't move past a certain thing, all of that. And I'm not talking about this here right now, because in the community, you have access to me. So if something shows up, I can actually support you and help you. Here, I have no idea what's going on for you. So you can just do the basic movement, if you don't want to do anything else, just do the basic movement, because it will already massively help you to de-stress. So whenever you're stressed, or just throughout the day without any topic, do that, and it will already help you to calm yourself, to de-stress yourself. And when you really want to start using it to process all triggers and emotional imprints, then I really would encourage you to join the community and get the full video series and my support there. And we have weekly calls where you can show up so that you can be fully supported and really know what are the certain steps I can do, what are the certain layers I can address, how do I do that? So you get so much more input, and of course my support there and the support of the community. But now you have a basic idea of that, how that works. And now for conscious creation again, when you're stuck in patterns where resistance comes up, you don't believe your new thoughts, and you don't have to necessarily believe them. However, you will have to get to a state of neutrality. So when you say a belief of I'm so loved, or a new assumption, when you repeat that to yourself, I'm so adored, I'm so loved, I'm so chosen, and you directly go into like, oh, that feels so uncomfortable, that's not right. Your nervous system is not on board. You're still in your old wired blueprint. You're still in the blueprint of I'm not chosen, I'm not chosen. So when you use how I teach you that EMDR with that, it will help you to really neutralize and like regulate your nervous system with the new blueprint, with the new affirmations. And that means the resistance will lessen and lessen and lessen. And then the new affirmations can really get or fall into fertile ground. So you're not acting in stress and in worry and in doubt anymore. No, you're acting from a neutral base, and then you build on top of that. So I found that EMDR, and I feel it's more, I can really say, because a lot of people use EFT, and I also have used EFT, and EMDR brought it to a whole different level. So EFT already calmed myself and helped myself, but it didn't process on the depth of the level of EMDR. So I would say EMDR is almost deep processing, deep reprocessing. EFT for me is more nervous system regulation. So yes, you can use it, and I support it. I also get a lot of EFT is the tapping, I get like yawning. I can feel like there is some regulation, some activation in a positive, like quiet, like calming activation happening in my body, like the parasympathicus and so on is activated. But it didn't help me to really find my old triggers and release them and reprocess them. And EMDR helped me to do that. I basically changed my whole way of being. My whole inner world changed in a matter of months. And not because I had to see a therapist, because I could do all of that by myself. And I will also tell you what else I used to help myself to find the triggering moments and so on. I have, of course, a lot of knowledge, and I will teach you all of that. So EMDR for me goes further than EFT. And basically, it helps you to get rid of the resistance, of the doubt, of the old imprints. And then conscious creation, you focusing your thoughts on what you want, can really play out full on. So it's almost like the heavy stuff gets taken care with EMDR, but actually also the positive, the conscious creation stuff, but especially the resistance. We always speak about resistance in manifestation, the big resistance, like it's not working, the doubt, the fear, the old identity. So with EMDR, we take care of the old identity, okay? And then with conscious creation methods like affirmations, visualization, and so on, we take care of creating the new identity. And then we can also use EMDR to strengthen and to hold the new identity and build the new identity. It actually helps with both, but especially with getting rid or with neutralizing and softening the old identity so that the new identity can come to full fruition. So it's one of the most powerful tools. It really helped change my life. It's helping to change the lives of my clients. They use it, as I said, when it comes to money scenarios. One of my clients makes so much money now further, like many of my clients, but especially this one who used it a lot around money struggles. Other clients have used it again and again for relationship issues and kids, like issues with the kids. And it's amazing. And they become, like you can see it, they become more charismatic, they become more powerful, calm and rooted in themselves. And this is, of course, how you show up in life then as well. It's really powerful. You become a different version of yourself. Yeah, what else do I have to say? I think those are the basics. I teach you way more than what I'm talking about here right now in the course. It's all, or not in the course, in the community. It's all in the description. If you have any questions, please put it into the comments. And for now, just start using EMDR throughout the day, just, with moving your eyes whenever you're sitting. Also, just like if you do a lot of computer work, sit there and in between, just let your eyes wander, like do the eye processing stuff, just in between without even having a topic. It's really life-changing. It's powerful. Okay, that was my mini introduction for today, and all your questions in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.